Hi, this is Mary Kozub from the Burchfield Penney Art Center, live with you today for our second mid-afternoon sketch break, sponsored by Hyatt's All Things Creative. We'd like to thank Hyatt's for their ongoing and continuous support of our educational program. But right now we're going to do a little drawing. In front of you here I have this image of a Joseph Bacillo drawing of a horse. I hope you come in to see our exhibition of Mr. Bacillo's work called Power. I am going to, because I'm in such awe of the incredible velvety blacks that he's able to create and the beautiful pops of white, I thought I would do a little sketch just as an homage to his work. Of course, I'll never be able to reach his level of excellence, but so much of drawing is based on tricks of the trade. I'm going to show you a little tricks and see how close we can together get to his work. So I'm going to move his work over and I'm going to show you the stuff I have in front of me. I have a sketch pad, I have an extra piece of paper just to keep things nice and clean. I have some pencils, some mechanical pencils, some B pencils, and I don't know if we'll get to it, but I do have a white marker. So I'm going to move everything over, and with this tape, I'm actually going to make a little gadget here. If you don't have 3 pencils, if you do not have tape, you could do this just by holding your pencils like chopsticks. I'm going to redo this because I want them to be a little bit closer, a little more parallel, a little closer to my paper. Okay, now that I smudged that paper, I'm going to go for a clean sheet. So with the 2 pencils together, I'm going to just freely draw a loop onto the paper. I hope it's starting to look like a ribbon because that is what I'm going for. I'm going to take them apart so I can work individually, and I am going to go from 2 parallel lines to a form or a set of planes moving across the page. First thing I'm going to do is have to find those bridges that will connect one line to the other. So I hope you see here I added a little diagonal line. Here I'm going to put an edge to the ribbon. Every place that the ribbon crosses, I have to make a decision on how I'm going to bridge those planes. So here we go, 1 and 2 and 3. I could let that one go because sometimes ribbons are on their edge. This one I'm going to get a little fancier with, like so, and then I'm going to bridge right over here. Whoops, a little skinny, can make it a little bit bigger. Now I have a transparent ribbon. My next job is to make a decision on what plane is on top of what plane and to clean it up a little bit. So I like the way this furls over. So this is a wonderful thing that I thought was a really useless and indulgent tool, but I found that I love it quite a bit. It's an electric eraser, but you could use absolutely any eraser. So I'm going to erase that line, which makes this plane be on top of this plane, and then I'm curving around, and so I have to erase one of these lines here. Now when I get to this part, I have to decide, is it going to be this one or this one? I kind of like the way it swoops around, and so I'm going to erase this one. But if you ever change your mind, you could redraw it and make another eraser. And I'm going to do this one here, continue around. This is a little sloppy, so I'm going to build this bridge out a bit to here, and then I'm going to let this one stay on top too. Okay, so there's my first step at creating a ribbon. The next thing I'm going to do is make a determination on where the lights and darks are going to go. Generally, lights tend to be on top. That is not always true, but it's a simple way to begin if you are just a novice drawer. So I'm going to lay down some value, and everybody puts marks down in their own way, just like everybody's handwriting is a little bit different. Everybody's marks tend to be a little bit different. In the very darkest spot, I never want to start with the blackest of blacks, like this, but rather as a mid-tone, and then stretch the value across. B pencil, a little softer, a little darker, a little richer. I can come back in here and make it richer yet. Take the tip off here a little bit. And move around. I think I'll make it a little darker here. Give it a sense that it's going around and then back up. Now, there are a couple things you can do to really increase the three-dimensional quality of your work. One of them is to put in sort of this weird mushroom-looking shape. Do you see how weird that is? Kind of swoopy mushroom. That's the only thing I can think of to describe it. One on each side, always making the lines parallel, and then connecting them, and then coming in like so. And then now I have a lot of erasing to do so you can see what I created. And get rid of this. And really bring my bridge out. To create a form. It's important to always keep some level of contrast from one plane to the other so that you're able to see. I'm going to go with a little H pencil here. The difference from the top to the bottom. It's a little bit tedious to work your way around, but if you like to draw like I do, you may find it to be very meditative and relaxing. And I move from pencil to pencil. Another way to increase the three-dimensional quality is to put an edge on things. So I think I'm going to do it over here. And I'm going to start with my mechanical drawing pencil. And I'm going to make it a little bit fatter than it was. And it has to be in here as well. By putting this edge on, it'll make it become more of a form than it was. In this section, got a little dark here, so I'm going to use my gel pen, this white gel pen, to work over the dark. Mr. Burchfield used to use white gouache, so I don't feel too guilty doing this when he wanted to lighten up a form. So I lightened it up on this edge, and wherever it gets, oops, you keep your paper there, otherwise it gets smudgy. Now, I like marks, and I like to make marks. Some people do like the smudge and the blend, and that's okay too, because art is about your own personal style. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. And how am I going to get a white edge on this one? I think I'll use the white gel pen to do it, like so. And then with a little harder lead, kind of crisp it up. You can even get a little more flair to it if you like this. It's up to you how far you want to take it. And back around like this. I gotta get some more value in there. An important thing to remember when you cross underneath, like from here to here, is whatever value you create on one side, I'm going to bridge that out. I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind, as artists always do. And take a little bit of this edge off. There we go, just to make it a little fatter. So when I cross underneath, like I'm doing here, I have to keep the value the same on both sides so that your mind's eye will read it as a single and continuous plane. Right now I'm cross-hatching, which means that I'm going in more than one direction with the value. I think I'm going to get a little deeper in here with this smaller, finer pencil. Now that I've committed to this edge, however, I'm going to have to play it out through the whole thing. So I'm going to have to take the edge right around here. And again, I'm going to do it with the white pencil, the white gel pen. And create an edge here. Come in deeper. And continue to work around. It's quite a commitment. Again, with the gel pen, I'm going to cross over. I found that sometimes things look a little stinky or aren't going quite like I wanted them to, but if I stick it out, stay with it, I could force it into looking the way I intended it to look. And that's what happened here. I thought I lost it for a minute, but I pulled it back around. Working my way around, keeping the paper underneath my hand so I avoid all this smudging. One way to get your eye to really see the movement is by making some of the marks, not all of them, but some of them go in the direction that the plane is moving. That way you'll encourage the viewer to follow your lines, your directional lines, and see what you intended them to see. Okay, I think it's time for a softer pencil again. That's an H. And go back to the B, black, for these long tracks around the course of the ribbon. See if I can put that edge in with the pencil and not the gel pen. Build up some contrast right here. And it would probably take me a good hour to really complete this in the way I would want it done. But I hope you could see that we've got a good start here, and I wish I could see your work. Thank you so much for joining us today, and don't forget, any supply will work, but if you'd like to use the materials that I've used, please visit Hyatt's All Things Creative, and do come into the museum and see the work of this wonderful artist, Joseph Pacillo. All right.